Material issues of internal control weaknesses on which to report on. So there were no issues mentioned in the management letter as such.
The capital grant of 2010, the balance was 1.3 million. If you add that to page 10, sorry, page 9, there is financing activity of capital grant of 24 million. That will give you 25,828,741. Therefore, the amount recorded here of 25,828,941 is more by $200. The amount is not that much, but it has implications. 200 is not much money, but for us here, every budget counts.
Every budget count is their slogan, as it has necked many public institutions over the years, with deputies vowing to implement their legislative mandate. However, as Gangwok's prudent financial and management style gains momentum, deputies are equally concerned with a more robust approach to rural infrastructure.
Success comes with good planning. If you don't plan well, you plan to fail. So I congratulate you.
Babukar Kamara, Grts.
A 5-day interactive forum for officials of the basic and secondary education and stakeholders is underway in the Central River region. The bi-monthly convergence, called the Coordinating Committee meeting, is the monitoring arm of the Ministry for policy implementation, credited with promoting quality education and the MDG goals the Ministry is poised to achieve. Louis Mendy has details in this report.
Taking place inside this conference hall at the Sierra Regional Office is the Coordinating Committee meeting, in short the CCM. The 5-day bi-monthly interactive forum for officials of the basic and secondary education and stakeholders in the sector is credited for promoting quality education, and MDG the ministry is poised to achieve.
And basically what it does is to monitor policy implementation, because as you know, it's one thing to formulate a policy, but when it comes to implementation, it's a different ball game altogether. And if you don't have a robust system of monitoring what is supposed to happen, the tendency is you always have a gap between the policy statements and what happens on the ground. And CCM is our monitoring, arm of the Ministry for policy implementation.
Introduced in 2008, the CCM is the monitoring arm of the Ministry for policy implementation, and as PS Boy explains, its impact since then is obvious.
Really, that the impact, if I am to put it in simple terms, is that the activities that we have in our individual work plans or directed work plans, you can clearly see, when you go to the schools during the CCM visits, that the head teacher would say, I have planned activity X, and actually the activity will be implemented. So that's the simple impact that I can give you. Simple but very significant.
The top echelons at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education are custodians of the belief that what is not monitored doesn't get done. This is the more likely reason why delegates at this convergence will take a day outside the confines of this hall to visit selected schools within the region. The goal is to gather for themselves first-hand information on the state of affairs of schools in relation to policy implementation.
Part of the activities of the CCM is the school visits, which, take us to 15 institutions, 3 madrasas plus 12, schools of the different categories, lower basic, upper basic, and senior secondary.
Alaji Gani Toure is the governor of CRR. To him, the introduction of CCM is one best decision ever taken by the ministry under the starship of Minister Fatulamin Faye, PS Babukar Boy, and Mam Tamsin Jai of the Ministry's Broadcasting Unit.
I don't know who came up with this idea, but this is the best move that has ever happened.
Once the regions are concerned, we really are in appreciation of what CCM offers in terms of supporting our work when it comes to monitoring and to ensure whether what is expected of the schools are in place.
This activity of the ministry highly demonstrates cordiality through intersectoral dialogue for the realization of one common objective: a nationwide conducive teaching and learning environment with policy implementation, especially in schools, for the realization of both standard and quality education for all. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
In their drive to ensure improved sanitation and hygiene in local communities, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with UNICEF, recently certified the status of 44 communities in the Upper River region for the completion of the construction of latrines. The initiative, as Babukar Senghor reports, is for communities to control their own sanitation and hygiene with no cost from the government.
Total Sanitation is a local group which aims at helping communities control their own sanitation and hygiene. The group uses the services of well-trained and motivated personnel whose approach led to the 44 communities building latrines in each compound. Governor Umar Abu Khan informed the Guardian that in May 2012, 75 communities were accessed for those without proper latrines, which he says triggered authorities to conduct an assessment of 44 communities representing 59% of areas with adequate latrines. The governor, however, urged the 31 remaining communities to put up latrines and help the URA to sustain and consolidate its excellence before the MDG deadline of 2015.
Therefore, the region is on course to meet open defecation elimination by the 2015.
The development, according to the UNICEF official Musa Drame, is a testimony of government's commitment towards achieving the MDGs. The approach, he said, is creating avenues for communities to control their sanitation. As diarrhea is one of the top 3 killers of children under the age of 5 in the country, according to Drame, sanitation improvement can significantly reduce child mortality.
As diarrhea is one of the top 3 killers of children under 5 years old in the Gambia, sanitation improvements can significantly reduce child mortality.
Alhaji Sankare, Regional Director, is of the belief that the community will uphold its new status.
But now that they have realized the benefits of, CLTS, so from this point they will continue to uphold the sanitation in their various communities from strength to strength.
The delegation of health officials later went on a tour of some of the community latrines to see conditions at the facilities. From that eventful program, the governor of the region, on behalf of the St. George's Guilds, handed over 20 hospital beds and hospital materials worth over $300,000 to the Basse Health Center. The items were donated by St. George's Guild from Denmark through the Scouts and Guilds Fellowship. For GRTS News, this is Babukar Senghor.
All time now to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at more news. Stay tuned in.
Lucozade Energy, energizing Gambia.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Syria's opposition leader Maula Zal-Hatib is urging President Bashar al-Assad to respond positively to a call for dialogue. The United States, Russia and Iran are backing the call by the opposition. And authorities in Mexico have confirmed reports that 6 Spanish tourists were raped at a resort by gunmen. We have more on these and other stories in this World News Roundup.
The European Parliament had been waiting for weeks for François Hollande to come and talk about the intervention in Mali. The French president finally showed up on Tuesday in Strasbourg to explain Operation Serval to the Euro deputies. He explained that thanks to both its bases in Africa and its military strength, France was the